Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in an era of rapid technological change and global uncertainty, sustaining growth requires Indonesia to work smarter by investing in skills, innovation, and digital transformation to build a more productive, inclusive, and competitive economy. So without further ado, allow me to jump straight into the IES perspectives, smarter, faster, making Indonesia productive and competitive. To follow with our fourth plenary session, which addresses a critical reality for our nation, titled, How Can We Compete Better in a More Competitive World? And to lead us in this topic, please welcome onto the stage Assistant Professor at the University of Nottingham and host of Chronicles onto the stage. Please give a round of applause for Bapak Bagus Muljadi.
Thank you. We've got 5 speakers and very packed agenda, so I'm going to start straight with our 3 contentions. So, in the world that is growingly characterized by great power rivalry, competitiveness is no longer optional, it's a necessity. It's the lifeline of countries like Indonesia to stay relevant in current volatile geopolitics. Now, unfortunately, the recent slide in Indonesian competitiveness rankings is worrisome. Some say it's because of weak infrastructure, because of regulation complexity, because of disalignment of incentives. So today, in this session, we're going to discuss at least the antidote, the 4 variables that constitutes the antidote to these problems. Human capital development, technology adoption, aligning incentives, and regulation streamlining. And for that, I have panelists of very diverse background, and they are very complementary to each other. Now, there are 3 contentions that we're going to discuss today. The first thing is that Indonesia requires homegrown champions to become competitive. But the conundrum here is that despite strong protectionist regulations like import restrictions, like local content requirements, few Indonesian firms have managed to scale globally. So how do you strike a balance between strong protectionist regulation, which I would argue very important to create that fertile soil on which the Indonesian companies can germinate and grow, but how do you make sure that does not inhibit the natural competitive instinct of the companies? After all, great companies in the US, Japan, China, Australia don't become world leading by being shielded from competition, but by exhibiting anti-fragility. The second contention is that in order to be competitive, these domestic champions require access to global talents. Now, any talent policy will then have to prioritize openness to global talents. But our argument here is that importing labors, importing expertise is just temporary solutions. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable by relying too much on talent imports, because when they leave, there goes the knowledge with them. How do you make sure you balance talents policy and nurturing knowledge at home? The last contention that we're going to discuss is that we want to make sure that automation does not replace people. Whenever there is industrial revolutions, such as the first one marked by the invention of steam engine in the United Kingdom, it always segregates the society. It creates marginalized community. And the remnants, the shock waves from the first industrial revolution can still be felt presently. They transform into political spectrum. So, we want to make sure that automation does not replace people. Rather, we want to make technology enables company to leapfrog growth. So, for that, join me in welcoming the panelists for today's session.